Welcome back to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Orvar. This story streams live on Sundays, sometime around 6 if we're lucky. But it's always here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed that last session, you can check it out on the channel page or by clicking that link down in the description.
Last time we finally returned to our favorite silver-tongued scoundrel, resting comfortably with Lady Perha, but comfort is a fleeting thing when your arm decides to go ethereal and throw you out of the bed. Awakening in a ghostly version of his own room, Clyde encountered an unseen presence, because what's a morning without a little existential dread? Reaching out, he was greeted by a chill and a voice. It introduced itself as Ulstryx, a name that sounds like it charges rent in whispers if you ask me. And this entity advised Clyde to seek power through dusty tomes and whispered legends to find someone named Orvar. And just to sweeten the deal, it left him with a glowing gem in his arm and a cryptic warning about his guest. Yes, listeners, guest, because moments later came a knock and a note. Apparently Clyde had knocked up a lady from down under, and now it was his turn to watch his infernal imp, Skit. And like any responsible man newly informed he was a father, Clyde immediately went to the bar. But alas, the bar was empty. It was the day of the Lord's Festival. And not Sunday, mean you, but the actual Lord's Festival. The realization left Clyde galloping off with his new son to find his friends. Back in the haunted barrow, things were going swimmingly. If by swimmingly you mean screamingly, as the Banshee made her grand and ghastly entrance. Jasira, overwhelmed by visions of terror, made a tactical retreat, also known as running away as fast as you can. But fear not, after catching her breath, she did what any true hero would do. She turned right around and went back in. Elsewhere, Boko and Rhea successfully escorted the last of the disguised civilians to safety, while Rennie and Roland regrouped to tackle the mysterious sigil powering the Banshee's haunting. Roland, peering ever deeper into the arcane, discovered something unsettling. This wasn't just a Banshee maker, oh no! It was a build-your-own undead workshop. And deep within the barrow's chapel, the Schultz, Ezra, Elazar, and Gil arrived to find something very strange. The crumbly ruin had gone, replaced by a pristine, radiant chapel, and the Banshee, now a furious priestess, arguing with someone unseen. Ezra, oh hero of heroes, attempted to smite the spirit with a radiant sun talisman, but to everyone's surprise, the talisman seemed ineffective at warding off the creature. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a rare and humbling moment for heroism everywhere. But Jasira, sneaking in, witnessed ghostly knights battling the Banshee, one declaring, "This witch's time is over." The Schult also noticed something curious. The talisman didn't match the symbols in the chapel. And the music randomly changed when he wasn't looking. Ezra agreed that they had indeed the wrong name for the spirit. Reinforcements arrived in the form of the rest of the guild and the Iron Horizon, but another Banshee whale knocked most of them flat out like poorly stacked crates. Then at last a breakthrough. Jasira saw a spectral knight rip the form of the priestess from within the Banshee and slam it onto the altar, revealing a small metal amulet. Ezra seized it, and for the first time the Banshee screamed in pain. They finally had her name. As we always knew, Ezra was here to save the day. Boko recognized the symbols in the chapel and on the amulet. Marks of death, religious symbols for the blood of Vol. And in a bold, daring, and slightly misguided maneuver, he infused the symbol with his own blood, ever the giver. But it did heal the Banshee. Yes, healed her. But Boko, undeterred, stepped in front of the blow meant for the Banshee and shouted the truth. The chapel itself was the vessel. Unsure what to think, but trusting Boko, because at this point, how could anyone survive this much chaos without a good reason? The Schult did the unthinkable. He weaponized his own blood, injecting himself and using the blood as hydro to blast into the chapel itself. The illusion shattered. The pristine chapel crumbled away, revealing the true ruin beneath. And the Banshee's form became solid, real, and very, very angry. As the dust settled, another figure emerged. The ghostly knight Jasira alone had seen, now fully corporeal. Their armor darkening to a pitch black, and they slowly turned toward the Banshee, their blade fresh with blood. Who is this mysterious knight? Will our gallant hero Ezra finally come in to save the day? And how many fires will Skit start along the way? Let's tune in and find out.
So as we return here into our epic battle, I need for everyone to roll some new initiative within this adapted environment.
Ooh.
Again, as you had been
like this new map.
fighting within here, the walls had been white, the symbology golden, everything pristine. But now, as that illusion had crumbled, darkness and the real reality of this cursed place started to take over. As you looked on, you started to see as these stone statues began to rise upwards, almost like petrified individuals, their blades at the ready. And upon this altar was revealed a ghastly skeletal figure. The one which it appears had been holding on to this amulet that Ezra now has in his hand. As the rest of the illusion crumbles around, members who had been knocked unconscious by the Banshee's scream previously now begin to rise from the ground and come back into the fight here. And with that, we will roll some initiative here.
Or hut row.
Let's see.
It keeps telling me that there's an error occurring when I'm trying to roll.
Oh,
That one went through.
yeah, it looked like it went through on my
An error
side.
occurred while rendering this roll template.
Weird.
I see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a 10.16.
I get that one. I get that one too, Joe. Don't worry. It doesn't matter, I think.
All right.
As long as you can see.
Hey, Clyde is hurrying. Clyde is hurrying. He's running as fast as he can.
Take off the pants. For the love of God.
He's not going as fast. He's on the horse, okay?
In the middle of the
Just
street,
you can
take
go.
off your pants.
Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. Skit, help me get him off.
No.
All right.
In an astounding turn of events that Rennie thought impossible, you have in fact transported us to a place I liked even less than where we were about an hour ago.
Boko, you have been, at least in part, leading on this navigation for how to handle this Banshee, wanting to find a way to release the soul. In this moment, you know that you guys have figured out that the amulet is this Banshee's name, and something related to the chapel appears to also be connected to this Banshee. However, when this illusion shattered, it did bring them into the mortal realm, but it did not entirely weaken them, as their form began to grow once more, and they let out this massive shriek. And for starters, Roland, you had been paying attention again, being the one who had pointed towards where this amulet was. It is now your turn to kick things off in this new darkened environment. What are you doing?
Okay, so the night thingamy seems friendly.
It is very unclear here what is going on.
All right. Well, we're gonna go for take two with the hammer and chuck it at the Banshee.
Okay.
Let me check and make sure I'm within 20 feet. Perfect. And it's a ranged attack, so it has that. Cool. That should be it.
A 14. Let's see. For this one. Yeah, that does not quite hit. Again,
Could I
tossing
just
this out.
swap the two rolls? I'll go later in the initiative.
I guess Clyde took that 20 from you, actually.
It's all Clyde's fault.
It's all downhill from here, gentlemen.
Womp womp.
I'm gonna. It was the hammer comes back, just duck behind a pillar or a statue and hide.
Yeah, give me a dexterity saving roll, Roland. Before you do your stealth
save?
check. Yeah.
Okay.
As you maneuver by one of these statues, the blade of the statue suddenly animates as it swings out in your direction, but you slide underneath it down to the base. And as soon as your movement is done, it seems that the blade kind of pauses just post swing. Go ahead and give me that stealth check. And Jasira, you are up.
I had a feeling those were gonna come
My
and get
gosh.
us. Okay.
But I rolled a natural 20 on initiative, and my next 3 rolls haven't added up to a 20 yet.
Why was Roland so eager to go?
You want to get these less than 20s out of the way.
Just because the Schult is copying Boko in the blood realm doesn't mean you need to copy Boko in the death realm.
Well, let's see.
They see
know
it over,
Jasira has
they
an-
hating.
They hate.
Holy shit.
Let's see. Jasira has an affinity for the spoopy. So, I guess as a quick question, just from observation, did Jasira, or was Jasira able to determine maybe the reach that the statues have with their swords? Does she feel she's in danger if she tries to get out of the way?
Give
From here.
me a... What's your passive perception?
Decent. 17?
Yeah, you know that they have about a 5-foot radius, so any movement within that 5-foot range seems to be what triggers them.
Okay, so she's probably fine. Cool.
Oh, I lied. It is 10 feet.
I think.
10 feet from the... So it's basically where you're at.
DM. How rude.
Okay, my... Here we go. Hold on. Let me just...
You're fine.
Where is my...
Ooh, you lied to me.
I know.
You're a liar.
So I
don't like liars.
I did it from here, and
Okay.
they're like big objects. Yeah. Okay. It's roughly
Okay.
2 square. I don't even see where the squares is. I thought it was 1 square. I think it is 2 squares. It's 5 foot from the edge, and so you're like
Roger,
just
okay.
on that radius.
It's fine. She's crafty. I say that she's gonna get hit probably. It's fine. But what we're gonna try to do here is watching even our little night buddy over there materialize. She's gonna try to stalk over and kind of, I guess, follow an arc, I guess. So kind of, that's not the right button. Which button is it? This button? It might be this button. Kind of go like doink, doink, and kind of go around.
Okay.
And see if she can kind of sneak up behind our night buddy, just in case he decides to do something less than productive.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 2 dexterity saving throws.
All right. Let's not get cut, because then she's going down, probably. Dex save would be this one. Let me just make sure. Disadvantage on ability. That is not this.
Nope.
Got 1.
Nice.
Got 2. Not phenomenal, but...
Actually break.
Oh,
Do we get
passed
nicked
the
on the
first
first team?
one.
to have had those 2 rolls.
You pass on the first one.
No.
And as you race by, this other blade swings out in your direction, and you're going to take 14
Don't do
points
it.
of slashing damage.
Austin! Ow! That is now 0.
It's a big stone greatsword. Jasira rushes over, dodging out of the first one, making it around the second one, but it triggers the blade and just it's more of a like slam. It's almost it's probably actually bludgeoning damage rather than properly slashing damage. But as this stone greatsword just comes down, you're like knocked down to the ground, and there's a bruise. And even though this is a blunt object, you feel like it almost ripped through your body with the force. And
Yeah.
Jasira's down on the ground.
Big bonk. Big bonk. It's fine.
So unfortunately, as you are incapacitated, that means you have no more actions, but you do have 5 feet of movement if you want to do any more crawling and risk another movement here.
Can she crawl? Please. Maybe do a cute little roll. Whatever she got to do.
The same one that attacked him also attacked her.
Well, yeah.
One of them did.
Also, this one
Yes.
tried, and then this one succeeded.
Okay, so we can intuit it's not like it uses it and gets it once per round.
Correct. It's not a reaction. It's just a trigger on anything that comes close.
Cool.
But yeah, can she try to like army crawl or roll just 5 feet over? We'll
Yeah.
take the risk.
Beat your ass.
Go ahead and give me another dexterity save, this time at advantage because you are low.
That's good. Okay. Maybe. I hope. It's better.
Yeah, so you're crawling away as the blade just slams down into the stone. It kind of sparks as it hits the stone ground, and parts of the floor go flying at the impact. But you do make it away from this entity.
Woohoo! And then we'll just lie there, waiting for a savior.
Well, your savior, the Banshee's up next.
Oh god.
That's not what I intended.
Here I go.
As this creature manifests, again, just growing in size, and you watch what was kind of this frail, thin body, the musculature expands, almost cracking and snapping the skin, expanding beyond that, as this entity goes from a hovering wraith to a massive behemoth. And it is just going to begin to spin and slash. And I do need dexterity saving throws from Ezra, Boko, Thashalt, and this knight here.
No.
Any chance this is something that isn't just hitting me in the face? It's
No,
like a fear or something. I didn't figure it was.
This creature is just almost spinning out with these claws around it as
Very
a
good.
sweep to try and get you all back. Well, the knight succeeded.
That's good.
And Boko succeeded.
That's good.
The other two,
Wow.
less so.
Hey, it do be like that.
All right. Well, that could have been worse.
Not feeling better.
16 points of slashing damage to Boko, Ezra, to Thashalt and Ezra, and then half of that, so 8 slashing damage to Boko and the knight. And for Thashalt and Ezra, you both are tossed backwards, kind of tumbling over the stone altar and being dumped onto the ground here. And so you are knocked prone.
Okay, so Ezra and I were kind of tussling over that amulet. Does it fall out of his hands? Because that seems like a pretty gnarly
we'll give him
blow.
a
Can
save for
I use
it.
one of these, by the way?
Absolutely, yeah. You
All right,
feel
2
this.
charges left. Very good.
You feel this knocking you back, and you just hold in place, and so you do not go prone. And Ezra, we'll say Ezra tries to hold on to the amulet and kind of gets knocked down onto the ground and held onto it long enough that it's on the ground right next to him. So he doesn't have it in his hand, but it is closer to him than it is to you currently.
You just want me to walk out of the range of this statue.
Hey, I just want things to happen, and I set up the dominoes, and how they fall is up to you. But after that swipe, this entity kind of turns over to Thashalt first.
There he goes.
And is going to, after making the oh, did I lose? Did my audio cut out?
No, you're good.
You cut out for a while.
Okay. Hopefully we're okay. After making the swipe, this entity, this banshee, is going to tear into Thashalt with 2 more claw attacks. And the first one misses. Thashalt, does a 16 hit you right now?
It does not.
All
so
right.
I'm at an 18.
Perfect. So as this creature tries to rend you with these claws, you just hold firm against the onslaught. And it, seeing the amulet fall, is going to, well, we'll see. Actually, it's in a bestial state. No, it doesn't catch this. Its bloodlust is too much right now. And with that, the knight is going to raise this blade, and just with a war cry, Fordora, is going to rush forward and make 2 swings onto the Banshee in retort. And I believe both of those are going to hit.
Oh.
Yeah, with 2 of these strikes here. The first one dealing 9 points of damage, and the second one dealing 6, 7, 10. So a total of 19 onto the Banshee. That's gone. And that'll bring us to Thashalt.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, with this thing causing a bit of trouble, at least we have it surrounded. You said the amulet fell on the ground?
Yes, the amulet is right next to Ezra right now. He kind of like got pushed back and it tousled out of his hand. He kind of grabbed onto it, and then finally as he hit the ground, it tumbled onto the stone right next to him.
Last time. Okay, well then I'm gonna scoot over to the right side, or like just as much as I can to try and prevent the Banshee from really focusing behind me.
Okay.
And yeah, if I could just like right there, and I'm gonna just try and gonna fight it here in melee. Let's do well, I am currently out of hydro, and I'm currently taking from my own vitality, so then I have to play this a little differently. What do I want? I think that I want to do this probably. Let's see. On self. Yeah, let's do this. We'll cast more on myself.
Okay. So as your body begins to shift and spin, trying to give yourself more protection here. Anything else that you're doing?
No, I'm probably just working with Boko to hopefully cause enough of a distraction for Ezra here as we're fighting this.
All right. Rennie.
That may be able to give me advantage potentially in the tussle that's going to happen next.
I hope so.
Rennie, you are up. What are you doing? You've been given just a bit of life from Roland last time.
Jasira's still down, right? And I saw her go down.
Indeed.
I am going to help her. I'm gonna get her with a healing word to pick her back up, and I am going to offer some very, very strongly chorded accordion melodies to try and get Rhea just a help and an advantage on her attack on the Banshee. Because I'm not getting closer to that thing. And it turns out I'm not getting any further from that thing because I'm next to the statue. So I'm going to park my ass right here, play some music, and pretend we're doing So yeah, take a D4 plus 5. And that is my turn. I think that is the best I can do, and I'm really hoping standing close to it doesn't also trigger it, but we will soon find out, because I have passed my turn.
Thank you.
So, Rennie, you are able to get this quick word of encouragement out to Jasira. And Jasira, you feel the life back into you. But Rennie, as you begin to start playing this, you notice that the statue begins to shift. And as you're playing the concertina, it's gaining attention to you. Give me a dexterity save. Again, at advantage here because your lack of movement hasn't got its full lock on you, but just moving at all seems to get its attention. So dexterity save at advantage. Ooh.
I get to do things.
Okay.
I do not have a lot of health points.
Indeed.
I am going to add 2d4, and I am going to add 3 with my my hobgoblin fortune of the many.
Okay.
So
12, and then roll me that 2d4. That is enough. As this creature swings out towards you, you just duck out of the way and are able to just edge out of its range. Narrowly missing that one with the help of some magics beyond your own understanding.
all right then, standing next to it or walking past it hurts, guys.
Yeah, it seems to be specifically motion triggered. Boko, that brings us over to
hear
you.
Roland say something under his breath that I'll let you interpret for yourself.
Boko is going to glide past the Schalt here.
All right, and you
Pause
will
for
take
dramatic effect.
yeah, you will take that good old attack of opportunity here.
I'm also dropping the greatsword on the ground
Okay.
as I make this move, but I still have my shields.
Does a 22 hit with the shields?
A 22 does not hit with the shields.
Okay.
Gotta love those extra arms. As these claws rake down, they tear in, and you hear just as the nails scrape across the metal, but you escape out of the range of this banshee.
Boko's gonna sweep up that that amulet really quick off the floor.
Yeah.
And how high is this altar over here?
Like 3 to 4 feet, something around there.
Yeah, Boko's gonna run, try to jump off of the altar, and he's gonna try to grapple the banshee.
Because why not?
He's got one extra free arm now, and so technically I have 2 free arms to do this.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics check here.
It will be athletics, and I am going to spend a charge of the armor of magical strength. Let's see here. A 13, so the armor of magical strength will make it a 20. And then I think we spend a flash of genius on this to make it a 27.
Okay. With the flash of genius here, go ahead and describe how you leap off of this altar and try and wrestle this creature down for this moment.
Yeah, Boko plants a foot on the altar, bringing the shields out in front of him. And as he leaps up, the shields sort of come out, almost like a clamshell opening, as Boko squeezes in between the two of them with 2 free hands, grabbing onto this banshee. And he's going to attempt, with that locket in his hand, to reach up and put it around her neck.
Ooh, okay. We'll say for now you have her grappled. I think it'll require your next turn to try and attempt this.
All right, guys, we're in. This is the kind of choice that gets you killed.
Well,
What else is new?
It's not like that's ever stopped Boku.
that's so true, though.
It hasn't. He just has died a couple times. That's all.
You know.
And even death doesn't stop it.
It stopped him once.
I will say it will be way funnier if when the party shows up to Clyde next, they tell him that Boku has died twice since he's been gone.
That brings us to Rhea. Rhea, you have just come out of the ethereal plane in this moment of danger to be healed, just to find the literal walls around you crumbling. What are you doing here in this chaos?
I believe I received instruction from Rennie to try and hit the Banshee, so she's reluctantly gonna attempt that instead of running away and hiding, I guess. Do I think I can make it between these two statues, or do I need to arc around?
You can certainly make it. There's enough space for you to fit between them. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was like. Are these ones holding giant swords too, like the ones down here?
They are, but those ones didn't seem to move when Rennie got close to them.
Okay. That's, well, I just figured he was like down the stairs. But I'm gonna try it just in case. I'm gonna go like directly between them and try to hopefully be 5 feet away from both, just in case. Oh, I did not mean to do that, so I'll go up and around. Why does it do that? That was weird. No. Okay. And at least be a bit of a distraction. And then I will also use the bonus action to bring out the shadow me as well, to be a nice distraction.
Perfect. Let's see. I think fix this. Yeah. Got shadow in here.
It was so big.
All right, and the 23 and 16 both hit here.
Sweet. Oh.
And is it okay? No, so I have to take half of the one that was rolled. Okay, so it's 30.
Half of the shadow.
Yeah, so 38 and 11 for 49. Very nice. Okay. At this point, Ezra kind of calls through and kind of standing up from the ground, dusting himself off a bit, just, what the hell are you all up to? Let's finish this. And kind of races up. Actually, he's one for the dramatic flair. Seeing Boko launch off the altar, he's trying the same maneuver, but kind of does a spin in the air to kind of get onto the other side. Yeah, easy enough with the acrobatics check here, and comes down just with 2 quick slashes from his blades. And as he does so, Javon and Jordan rain in attacks from the side, and Gil is still trying to race forward, so he will 40, 80 feet. He'll be able to get there. The Panther is still unconscious, and Jonah is going to give a healing word over to Rennie, but he's going to first try and get out to avoid the order here. Goes back over by Javon, needs to make a dexterity save, just makes it. So Rennie, you're going to take 8 points of healing to your stamina.
Heck yeah, thank you.
As and now between Javon and Jordan, they and Ezra, they rain down attacks onto this creature, but that'll bring us to Roland.
If I do any sort of disengage from this, of like putting focus into having my shield in between me and the sword, is there any benefit I can gain as I try and get away from this statue?
Certainly worth a shot. It might try and lessen the blow.
I will use a bonus action to disengage and try and get instead over here behind this pew.
Yeah, with the disengage, go ahead and give me advantage on your dexterity save.
Thank you. Watch me roll 2 2s.
With
There's my son of a. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I will take it.
What does it
At
look
14
like?
HP, I will take it.
What does it look like in this moment as Roland epically disengages from the statue?
With the warning from Rennie that being next to the statue at all hurts, he just kind of like, he was prepping for another blow and just looking up, gauging where the cracks in the stone were. You see him kind of give the start the shift to get to ready to move, and he sees the sword start to move and just somersaults backwards over it as it comes swinging through, glancing off the shield, and then ducks around behind the the pew.
Yeah, and with your hammer in your hand, you kind of give one last spin, and the hammer slams into the edge of the stone sword and breaks off the tip, and cuts down the range on this thing slightly.
Amazing.
Hey.
And then at this point, we're going to go ahead and do... Well, maybe I shouldn't have run that far away. Damn. I'm going to cast Bless on the 3 people that are around and start the process of swapping back to my rifle for next turn.
Okay. So that's you, Jonah, Javon, and Jordan? Is that what you're doing? Or is it you, Jonah,
Me,
and
Jonah,
Javon?
and Javon.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. We'll do this for a bless. And bump. And then you've got... Perfect. Jasira, that brings us back to you. Banshee is up on deck.
Yeah, she is, isn't she? Okay. Well, just in case, I think I need to heal myself a little more for safety. So we will do a hand of healing for 1 key, which is martial arts plus wisdom. So, what wisdom is 3? Oh, that's wrong. Wrong thing. There we go. It'll be 11 more. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all.
And then we're gonna... Not bad at all. And we'll have her kind of continue her path, although it seems our knight's helping us out a little bit. So she'll try to stay farther away from the stabby man, slashy man. And then she'll try to finish her movement by coming up here. And I don't know about bonus action, so I think we'll just end there and we'll kind of have her hope for the best.
All right. Boko, as you are hanging onto this creature, trying to pull it down for everyone to batter, this creature trying to hold at bay, this necklace that you're trying to attach onto its neck just rears back and lets out this menacing wail again, just... And I need once more everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw, as she did recharge her wail.
Oh, nice.
W-A-I-L or W-H-A-L-E?
I'll leave that up to your interpretation.
Both. It's a whale of a whale.
Oh no.
A whale of a whale.
This tail is a whale.
Thank goodness.
All right, let's see. Roll for... Ooh, okay. Roll for Jordan. Nope.
With Bless? Oh no, Jordan doesn't have Bless.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Roll for Javon here. Oh, we can try it. Yeah, Javon is
Damn.
down. Jonah.
Not good.
Oh, good. Jonah's passed.
You said everybody needs it.
Yep, everybody needs... Oh my gosh.
Are you sure?
Gil has
16.
crazy con saves and still doesn't.
That's not bad for me.
Gil drops again. Let's see. Oof. Okay, Rhea, we got a 23. Roland got a 20. Rennie got a 25. Ooh, these are all pretty good. 16 for Jasira.
Except for poor Rhea.
Except for poor Rhea.
Yeah.
And Jasira,
She needed a nap anyway.
a 16 is just enough.
Heck
Oh,
yes.
fuck
Let's
me.
go.
I don't have a reaction.
No, you all just burned it as you're trying to attach.
You used the reaction?
Well, I can. Yeah, I mean, it's. I kind of figured 15 was.
Does the ability say before the results are announced? Because usually.
I think it does say before the results are announced. Though,
so in this case, you are so close that this creature just screams in your face, and even though your constitution is heavy, you feel your soul or whatever is here in this undead automaton body gets ripped out, and you also drop down to 0 stamina and are incapacitated, dropping off. Yep.
It does not specify it.
Oh.
It doesn't. It just says when you see somebody make a save or an ability check.
Yeah, I think the intent here is before the, even if it doesn't. Usually when it's usually it will specify. I think the default.
Yeah, I think I'd agree too.
Because usually,
as much as I wanted not to.
Usually it'll say if it's a failure, you may.
It's the other way around. Usually it specifies you must use this prior to knowing the result. That is what is specified. It doesn't specify the other way.
I'll be real. I thought the 15 was gonna make it.
I also thought the 15 was gonna make it.
Yeah, I think with the intent from the characters, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with that one at least for now. And maybe what is potentially building into this is Boko glimpsing the sight of Rhea. Rhea, how are you knocked back into unconscious or incapacitation here by this terrifying scream? What does that look like?
I think Rhea probably realizes what's about to happen just before. So I like to think she's already kind of just sitting down. she doesn't fall
I'm
over.
ready.
She knew what was coming.
I'll take a nap.
You see her like the moment before it registers on her face, and she's like, we're not making this one. And she will drop to the floor.
Yeah, and you watch as the scream rips away the shadow as Rhea and Boko fall down. Boko still kind of loosely clutching onto the amulet here, as this creature just shakes the incapacitated body off.
I lose my 2 arms. The extra one.
The 2 arms are literally just like withered limbs fall away. And Thishalt, you kind of being the last one who had triggered some of this, as Boko drops down, her attention is entirely upon you.
Oh no.
And
well, not my ideal scenario, but technically what I wanted.
I need you to make me one more Constitution save as this cold feeling starts to just creep into yourself, and you feel almost your lungs. It gets difficult to breathe as this wind tries to steal your breath.
Is it a fear / charm / something that's scary?
No, this is just a physical effect here.
Alrighty. Man,
I believe you have
poison,
all passed through
poison, paralyzed, petrify, stun, eyes?
Not yet, no.
Damn it. Alright, well, we'll just roll 24, that's fine.
That is enough here. Again, this is not too... So you only take 3 points of cold damage as this just effect starts to chill you, but you feel that presence of her focusing in on you. However, as Boko falls down, this night entity kind of steps protectively, kind of on top of him a little bit, but kind of takes the blade and just begins to slash into this creature, just calling out, "It's time for you to be banished, witch!" And we'll take 2 more strikes here. The first one just misses. But the second one is a natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. 10, 16, 18. 14, 24 points of damage as the blade carves into this creature. And even though this is an immense behemoth, it's starting to show signs of weakness here. And the Shalt, it is your turn.
All right, and Boko's out.
Boko's out, and this knight is almost kind of like standing on top of him right now.
Bro. This is not particularly useful for me. Let's see. I'm gonna... Yes. I have two options, and I think the option I want to do is probably this one. I'm going to Cure Wounds Boko. So let me think. That is... Why did that not post as a spell? Oh, because I gotta push it on the other screen.
Artificer powers.
Bop.
Thishalt, as you reach down to place a Cure Wounds on Boko, you just... Around you is these bits of blood from Boko. Your hands are even covered in the blood from your own essence. And you feel that magic start to get pulled out, but you feel it pulled by this banshee as the blood starts to coalesce into her hand. Go ahead and roll the Cure Wounds, but you watch as she steals the healing essence in this moment from you.
If I can visibly see that, I'm just gonna look up, trying to like, kind of maybe usher the knight off of Boko here as I look towards this thing. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And Boko is still conscious. He is just incapacitated. So Boko, you watch as this happens right in front of you, still kind of with a boot on your chest.
Just gonna look up towards the banshee. You are obnoxious. So you know that, right?
It just screams, just...
So, alright, well, I guess with my action burn, I'm going to...
Thishalt, I do need you to make me a con save, just DC 10 for the 3 points of cold damage. I forgot about that.
Alright, sounds good.
Just for concentration.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about that.
Yes. Totally fine, still up.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of stay in range of Boko, just trying to prevent him from, well, taking anything other than the boot currently on him.
Alright, Rennie, that brings us to you.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Hear me out. I would like to use my fun hat. I would like to come pick up Rhea, and I would like to teleport us both away with my fun hat.
Okay.
So I would like to take the disengage action to run up so I don't get, like, stabbed, and that I can get her and I out, and I want to use my Jester's hat that I got.
And remind me the wording on the hat.
It's basically Misty Step, but in a hat.
Perfect.
So we can get 30 feet away. I can get to her.
Yep.
And then we would like to get this spot over here actually away from, like, things.
Yes, it is.
Cool. That's what I would like to do with my turn.
So yeah, you rush up, grab onto Rhea, and just pull. It's almost like these fabrics of Harlequin patterns sewn together that wraps around you, and then you vanish as the claws of this creature just cut through the fabric but find nothing there. And you reappear right next to an incapacitated Jordan Blake on the ground.
Excellent. I will try and start getting them up on our next turn.
All right. Boko.
Okay. So I'm incapacitated.
Indeed.
But I still have a little bit of presence on this plane at the moment.
Yes.
Boko is loosely holding onto this amulet. He is going to raise it aloft with this knight standing on his chest, and he's going to hold it in between his thumb and his forefinger. And he's going to weakly call out Roland's name and hold his arm up just as long as he can keep it there.
I love it.
The amulet?
The amulet.
You saw what happened the last time I tried to hit the damn thing.
In life
I believe.
and death, Boko does trust Roland.
Might be the last mistake you ever make.
All right. And for here, it is Rhea's turn. Rhea is incapacitated, so no actions, but you have been escorted out of danger. Ezra, holding on, is going to trust seeing Jonah still up and try and end this creature. Is going to take 2 more strikes into this thing. Both of them do hit with the blades. And Jonah will kind of step forward, beginning to put whispers down on Javan. Get him up first. Only 6 points, but it is enough. 6. And with that, I believe all of the other ones are unconscious. So Roland, it comes back to you.
Okay. Am I hidden from the ambulance?
I'm sorry?
I don't know if you can be hidden from an inanimate object, but
I am looking for any way to get advantage.
Theoretically, it can't see him though, right?
So, in technical terminology.
How?
I mean, there's the alternate, the optional rule of like the take aim rule of setting the speed to 0 to get advantage on a shot.
In this moment, if you want to set your speed to 0 and like set up on the pew, I'll let you have advantage on the shot here. I don't know if I'll make that an open rule all the time, but in here I'm okay with it because Boka's literally called out your name.
So true.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull out the rifle and set up on the back of the pew using it as a brace and just lean into the shot, take a deep breath, sight, and squeeze.
Okay, go ahead and give me the attack.
I can't handle this music right now.
21 is enough. Go ahead and roll me damage here. You have a
With
threshold.
Advantage, do I get sneak attack on the ambulance?
What is the natural attack of the rifle? It's a D.
It's a D12.
D12 plus. Yeah. So the threshold you need is a 10. So I want you to not roll with sneak attack and just do the rifle damage with the D12 plus whatever.
But I also get the lightning damage from the
You
eye
do,
thing, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Now the lightning will be halved because this is an object, but it's a little bit. It's a bit extra. To get you closer to that threshold.
All right, I have sneak attack turned off, lightning turned on. Here we go. And it's piercing, so I get to re-roll the that 3.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's
Roland,
so nice.
what does this shot look like?
It's just, you know the slow-mo and Sniper Elite, that game series. Of like, basically, that's what I'm looking at. Of like, there's the sight in the. And then time slows, you see the bullet exits the barrel and then just straight through the middle and pops it out of Boko's hands.
Yeah, and it just shatters into pieces as it blows out from where it hangs upon the necklace that Boko holds. And at this, again, the Banshee just wails. And Boko, the bits of flesh that are still hanging here, the overextended and muscled, just begin to degrade and start to fall away. This creature is not long for this world, as it is literally falling apart now, but it is not yet gone. That brings us to Jasira.
Yeah.
Resume builder.
Okie dokie. So, just to make sure I understand, so he shot the amulet. Did it shatter?
Yes, the amulet shattered, and the banshee
Cool.
screamed, and you're watching now its flesh start to fall apart as it is literally failing, but it's not quite dead yet. But
Okay.
it is
Cool.
literally falling apart now.
Okay. And since she's close enough, was she able to see how Cure Wounds went with the Shalt? And if yes, could she deduce if she tried to use her Hand of Healing on Boko, if that would help him out, or if she would just be a steely bitch and take that too?
You definitely saw it happen. You have no idea whether she can do it again or not.
Fair. Okay. And then I have one more technical question, which with Flurry of Blows, it does say for free I can make one of those Flurry of Blows become Hand of Healing with no cost. Would I be able to change the target? So I could do like 1, 2, 3 on her and then 1 on Boko, for instance, if I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that.
Cool. That's what I thought. Because otherwise, it's like, I'm going to hurt you and then I'm going to feel bad.
It would not make sense.
Bam! Touch.
I'm sorry. Too hard.
Yeah, too hard. Pull the punch a little bit.
Cool. Okay. Yep. That's what we're going to do then.
Okay.
We're going to, let's see. Okay. The question is how. I think.
And if you get right up next to the knight, because the knight is kind of standing on Boko a little bit still, you're
like
close enough to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like friendly-ish. We'll kind of like nuzzle in there, and let's try it. Let's see how it goes. You know, we'll try a 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully things do things, or at least 1, 2. Yeah, you know. We'll just. Yeah. Okay. Attack.
17 hits, 28 hits, 22 hits.
Let's try to kill her. Let's
just try to kill her. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage for these, as all 4 of those will hit.
Alrighty. Also, let's see. Hold on. I don't. Banshee's necrotic. I kind of want to try because she wouldn't know any better. Let's also make at least one of them the Hand of Harm.
Okay.
For funsies. Okay. Let's do the nat 20. I don't know.
Okay.
Casually. We'll do that. That's the regular 3. And we'll do the martial attack, which means we'll need to add. Let's see. Extra necrotic equal to 1 roll of martial arts plus wisdom. So we'll do that. And the additional martial arts die with necrotic will be 10.
Jasira,
thank you.
I want you to describe how you end this banshee with the final note that this creature is normally immune to necrotic, but your power of necrotic damage here and her power being literally ripped away, you are able to push through. So describe what that looks like in this moment as you defeat this creature.
I think her overwhelming care and compassion for Boko and her friends, and how fucking ridiculous this whole trial has felt to her. She's just snapped and kind of blames the Banshee for everything. So she just kind of saunters on up, is like, "Excuse me, Mr. Knight, sir. You're doing great." Just kind of slides him over, cracks her knuckles. 1 punch to the ribs, 1 uppercut to the chin, and then, oh my gosh, probably a nice little knee to the gut. And for her last one, where she's just like harnessing all this necrotic energy, she doesn't even think, and she just tries to punch the Banshee's head off.
Yeah, as you...
Just harnesses all that anger.
Austin, did you have something there?
Oh, it's just laughing. That's awesome.
Yeah, you begin to just beat down on this creature, and it's already starting to fail. Again, the muscle, the sinew, the fabric falling away, and melting into the floor, into dissolving into nothing. And as it drops down, just this skeleton with basic organs of this small woman, the emaciated face across her, and the wispiness of hair long dead. You just give one last smash of the fist, and she tries to put up a hand to block. It goes through the hand into the skull, cracking it off as it tumbles down the stairs, and the body, the skeleton, the skull all fade off into the stone. With this, in this moment, you look around, and the knight, as his armor darkened black and red, also begins to fade into this rusted steel armor. The helm still darkened over this individual's face, but he's breathing heavily. At last, it's complete. And Ezra kind of looks over at you, Jasira, and kind of gives you a nod of approval. You know, maybe even just a little bit of impressed nature as Jonah begins to move around, instantly going over to Jordan and beginning a healing word to get him up before going back over towards Gil as well. Jasira, you and Thashalt are next to, as this knight kind of slides off of Boko. You two look down and see Boko's unconscious form, or incapacitated form.
All right, now that we're... Oh, go ahead.
Let's heal him. I think your cure wounds might be, or healing word, cure wounds, either or might actually do better, but I'm happy to give him a hand of healing after that for extra.
All right, just watching the Banshee fall, just look down.
Yeah.
Well, in theory, this ought to work now.
And it indeed does, as you cast the magic over to Boko.
And then Jasira will add an additional 12. That's fucking dope.
Damn.
Now, all of you kind of in this space, in safety, and Rhea, you get an extra 7 points of stamina from Jonah as he brings you back. But Jasira, Boko, Thashalt, you watch as this knight goes over and begins to have a conversation with Ezra. Just, thank you all. You have saved me and my kin from this treacherous fate. Can you bestow me with my holy symbol once more? And he reaches out kind of a hand towards Ezra. Or sorry, not towards Ezra, towards Boko, because Boko, you had stolen the talisman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he reaches out towards you, Boko, asking for the talisman back.
Boko hasn't stood up off the floor yet, but will hold it up to him and has kind of a grip on it, isn't giving it over completely yet. Looks up to the figure and he says, Is she gone?
She is.
What has happened?
What
has happened to her soul?
The witch has been banished back down where she belongs, into the depths of the hills, where she can cause no more harm.
Boko will let him take the holy symbol.
As you pass the holy symbol over, he grabs it into his hand and kind of places it upon his shield, and it begins to. Sorry. Oh, that's
you and the perfect
hilarious.
Number.
That is so funny.
Bruh.
Wait, he has -1 damage reduction.
Yes, I have reduction to everything except psychic, which means it would have been 48.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
Have
Okay.
some humor.
Apologies for that. But yeah, as you ask about this, Boko, and hand over the talisman, he places it onto the shield. The shield begins to alight, and the rust turns into this darkened onyx coloration of this alloyed steel, as the final bits of corruption seem to be purified away. And he just kind of nods at you, Boko, and then begins to fade and vanish.
Boko hasn't stood up yet. Can he set up for a ritual?
Sure.
And those of you that are familiar start to see Boko set up, but it looks a little bit different this time.
And Ezra kind of comes over to Jasira in the meantime. I must say, quite impressive. You all were of great help, and we appreciate it. There was more at play here. I don't know what the magics were, but this creature clearly had cursed the night, and it's good to see him freed.
Indeed. It was, good that Boko was able to figure out that there was something awry in the chamber. Gave us a little bit more of a chance to beat her.
And that's knowledge of the undead. He turns and looks back over towards the pews to try and find Roland. I heard over the comms that it was Roland who helped Javon finally dispose of that sigil. I'm not sure we would have been able to complete all of this without it. You all did well. We'd be happy to have you by our sides any day. But it's best we get out of here. Timing is a factor, I believe, in these types of events.
Oh, right. I forgot this was an event. Woo! All right. Yeah, we probably need to move.
Schultz is just over there going like, yes, the initial test of the blood pack appears to be successful. Oh, shit.
No, actually, my mind is currently reveling on, oh god, we almost died right there. Oh, wait.
Wait. Out of OT mode, we need to get back to base.
Yeah, freaking right.
The Schultz science mind. Wow, this blood thing feels kind of badass. No wonder Boko does it.
Surely there won't be repercussions for this.
And Boko, you are in the midst of a ritual. What do you have left before you are ready to depart?
Boko will draw out his circle, and rather than the traditional circle that acts as kind of as a barrier to keep things out, Boko adds lines extending from the center, pointing out in all directions. Very reminiscent of the symbol that's carved into his hand, but doesn't. As the circle is drawn, Boko doesn't call out, but Boko sits to listen for a moment to see if there has been passage of a soul through this area, or if there are the remnants, or... The knight said that this figure was banished, but Boko's goal was ideally to salvage the creature's soul. He doesn't know if he was successful in that.
Give me an insight check at advantage here, as you are trying to read into the magics around you during this.
Ooh, I think we're gonna have to use our inspiration on this one.
Okay. Give me just one more roll of the insight.
There you go.
It's like one of the better inspiration rolls we've got.
Expecting a 4.
That is uncharacteristic indeed.
It only took 92 sessions, guys.
As you look through the veil in this moment, watching, there has been an immense amount of soul power here. One curse has been rendered, exhausted, removed. But you feel the pain and suffering associated with that curse. This entire place is a cursed chapel now. This entire barrow, once built for a pure purpose, has been darkened. You sense pain. You sense sadness, and you sense anger. But the soul, there's nothing left of the Banshee's soul. Rather, that individual, whoever the knight was, whatever curse had been placed upon them had been removed, and they were allowed to pass on. Something doesn't still fit here. You put together enough of the puzzle pieces to survive and to complete the task, but it should have been enough to save the Banshee, or to at least release its soul and allow it to pass peacefully. But this was a violent end. And there's still something that you just can't put your finger on how it all fits together.
But this transition period is clearly past. There is nothing that we can do now.
Indeed.
To change this. Okay.
And I'll say, Boko, with what you have known from Roland and from this whole experience, the destruction element of the name is part of what completed it. Had you been able to utilize the name and kind of bring it together with the vessel, that is part of the ritual that requires the restoration of the Banshee. And so by the destruction of the name, that had rendered it almost impossible on its own. But you know that there's still more here that doesn't quite fit, because that was kind of a last element. It seemed like things still weren't going well when you chose to do that.
That one missing on the dice roll for the save might have made all the difference.
I'm just floating this. Are we sure that the tasks we're being set upon aren't just helping the bad guy rise to power better in the city? Because this seemed kind of real and much more complicated than originally proposed. Like, if this was a trial of just like random Steve from accounting, like, he would have been fucking toasted, boys. Like, I think we're being played.
Rennie, do you say this out loud, or?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
What is
there
Ezra's
any
reaction to that?
Well, before we get to that, David, finish your thought.
Sorry.
Is there any blood from the Banshee on the ground?
No, everything from the Banshee dispersed completely.
I figured. Worth asking, though, with recently acquired skills.
Yeah. That being said, Roland, you do see a body on the altar. You don't know if there's any blood left, but there is the body there.
Well, color me intrigued, and I'll go investigate.
Rennie, you kind of saying this, Ezra is in the process of gathering up the other guild members, and does kind of just call out, at least from what I've heard in the past, these types of challenges are adaptable and put forth to match the skills of those who come to them. They're meant to push you to the edge. That being said, I wouldn't put it past the Hidden Lords to have other things up their sleeve.
However, if there was any real danger, I'm not sure they would have sent the copperheads into the midst of it on their own. Perhaps there's more that we can learn tonight at the celebration before we head back to the gates in the morn. It'll be at the Talenta encampment just outside the city.
All right. I suppose I'd be willing to party with you.
And as those adventurers begin to kind of head off, Rennie, give me a perception check.
Ooh, here's where this falls apart.
Let's go, Rennie.
It's actually Galreth in disguise.
Oh,
This
no.
is
Don't go there.
Scooby-Doo.
No.
Jasir's gonna leave right now.
Rennie, as your eyes are just kind of lingering on Ezra as as they're all walking away, you catch him quietly but sternly under his breath chiding Javon that he wasn't able to figure things out quickly, and you can see that there is an air of frustration with Ezra. This hero still has some things that keep him being human.
I'll pass that information on to the party leader.
Which one?
Purposefully vague.
No, I'll let everyone know quietly
Yeah,
what I saw.
and the Adventurers Guild, they're headed out of the barrow, and so it kind of leaves you all here as Boku is kind of completing up his ritual, and Roland is going up and kind of looking over this altar. And Roland, you see there is a just emaciated skeleton here, and there is a large like blood stain on the stone from long ago, but you see that now the bones that have been here, the skeleton seemed intact, but now it's kind of crumbling and you can see it breaking into dust. It's actively breaking down in front of your eyes at a rapid pace.
All right. Let's I'm going to try and like pull some water from my canteen and reconstitute some of the blood, like just get enough moisture into the area to like try and get some level of fluidity to it and start trying the rite.
Okay.
To see if I can figure out how this person died.
Yeah, go ahead, and in this moment, it's going to be tricky, but give me a intelligence check.
Okay. And casting guidance as well as
Sure.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Can I lend him medicinal aid to give him advantage?
Or
Or is this happening while I'm doing the ritual?
I think this is still happening while you're doing the ritual.
Heard.
Okay.
So for now, we'll just go with the intelligence check with the guidance.
There
See
we
what you
are.
can get.
And let me go roll that
Nice.
d4.
That's not
Nice.
Hey, look at that.
bad. Pretty good.
Okay. So typically, as you have been learning this, it's kind of a random snippet of what information you get. But in this case, I will allow you, because of a 25, you will get to choose from the feature as a blood domain cleric normally would. And so you get one of these 5 options that you can choose.
Blood domain cleric.
I mean, that.
Gosh.
That last one's looking pretty juicy.
Do we get to know he's going to do this and maybe give some input?
I mean, this is kind of a ritual in itself. You see him doing something with the body, Rennie. I don't think you know what it is, but if you want to come and try and put an input, this takes a moment here.
So my thought is that this is probably a lot older because it rapidly
Yeah.
degrades. because whatever magic is holding it and binding it and was using it has dissipated. So this is a whole lot older than it otherwise would be expected to be.
Yeah.
So most of the things that would tell us about what it was doing in society don't mean a damn thing, because the city's not that old, and it's probably from a structure kind of long past, if that makes sense. So I think it'd be really freaking cool to know what the last task was. What was going on. But if you've got a better idea.
I don't know. I feel like last task kind of rolls up into the where it was in society type of thing of like what it was doing.
Okay.
Jasira, can you give me an intelligence check here?
I can do my best.
So I don't think name
Problem is that's
helps us.
disadvantage. But
Name
then
might
it's
help us a lot, though.
intelligence.
Yeah, it is.
Name helps us if we think
But
there are records of what things were prior to this new city administration and setup.
it's
That would be the
not
idea.
intelligence, right? Not investigation.
Yeah, intelligence here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do just disadvantage then.
Unless you think we could go somewhere else to find out. It's like,
Okay.
think of like how few people the name of them matters. Like, unless it's like major plot armor kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
we remember Thomas Jefferson's name from 200 years ago. But the other like 3 billion people who were contemporary to him, if it was like Rachel McGinnis, that wouldn't mean anything or whatever. Like,
Excuse you, Rachel McGinnis was a great woman.
maybe. Poor man.
Apologies
We
to all
don't
Rachel
know. That's
McGinnis
the
fans in
thing.
chat.
So like what?
That little about so many people.
Oh, it's also like, you bring up Thomas Jefferson. What was the last task that John Adams was doing when he died? Asking
That
if Thomas
was-
Jefferson was dead first.
Yep.
Sure, but like, that being here in this, what was this used for? What was going on? Was this someone who was captured? Like, it's like you could get something pretty interesting from that to tell more about why, if we're right and we're being set up to go do the errands for them, why did they want this banshee banished? Why did they want this magic illusion broken down? At least that's the kind of the line of reasoning I think I'm taking if we think we're getting fucked.
Yeah. But that's
Whereas,
also
like, if it
potentially
was
the
just
last
some
task.
person-
The task would have been their murderers then.
No, it's the task of the like thing on the altar of what
Exactly. The last task of the creature on the altar was doing might have been carrying a pot of water to the farm.
Shit, okay. If you think that a name gets us a line to then go study in a library and we have the time to do it, that'll probably get us there.
I mean, it depends on how much detail you get. I imagine there's quite a bit, but it could also be the last action was defending the church from the incursion of this specific army.
Could be, but then that's why I'm leaning towards what manner the creature died. Because if I can drag out elements of a ritual that I recognize.
Okay.
I'm just
that's probably
hoping that it seems like there's a lot of overlap between all of these, and I'm hoping that
Yeah.
time gets you to bleed into a couple.
Yeah. Like, name would be...
Slow. It'd be useful. We could do something with it.
See, the thing is, though, I've also played with Austin before, and he loves throwing names at us at a time that they're not relevant yet, and then they're relevant in the future.
Oh yeah, but like the last time
Yeah.
I took notes on someone's name.
I can tell you exactly. Call me Zell.
I make up a funny version of names every time I use it in the future because it's like, oh yeah, it was something like this. It's like the new Lord, Christina Aguilera. Like, it wasn't quite that, but like, I didn't take notes.
That's the thing, though. It's like the name is the only piece of information that surpasses time.
Sure, but it's that piece of information is only useful if records contemporary to it could be located.
So that piece of information is only useful if the thing that I expect my character to be the best at in the entire world applies.
Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and pause it there. I think we've had enough discussion.
We'll make a
David,
decision.
the decision is yours. Which one would you like to pick?
Excited.
I want the name.
Okay.
Ooh, baby.
As you pull this blood and essence from this entity, you get this.
Especially since that's also what Boko wasn't able to figure out in the ritual, and we had to kill it.
Huh?
You begin to get this vision of a woman. She's sitting down at a desk, writing a note. And you watch as with the strokes of the ink, she signs off her name. And you see Alania Moonstar. And then the vision fades.
And creature type?
She is a humanoid, and I'll even specify she is an elf.
I figured with a name like Moonstar, but
Yeah, you were able to see the essence of this person in the vision, and so yeah, they are a humanoid elf.
okay.
And I'd say with that, again, just over these few minutes of discussion and you pulling the last bits of essence out of the blood, this body begins to break down into dust and just kind of drifts away into nothingness. And you all are left in the barrow alone.
All right, time to go figure out why, if we're right, they give a shit about getting rid of the Banshee of Alania Moonstar.
Yeah.
And we will
Do
turn...
you want to go to the library and I'll go talk to people quietly?
We'll turn the page here a little bit, as there is a bit of flow to the Lord's Festival, and the adventuring parties are not let back in within the city until day 2. But you guys do have an encampment outside of the city put together by the visiting Lord from the Talenta Plains. And so as you all head, completing your task off in that direction, I do want to return back to a portion of the story that we have been away from for a moment.
I was afraid of that.
In this moment, far across on the opposite side of the city, and even within the city versus outside of it, I guess, we come to Morian. And Morian, the last time that you had been with you had been navigating through the Kenneth Villa and kind of meandered through into the large master bedroom and had found inside a strange scene. A clutch of leafy trees growing in the center from within a person, or rather through a person as a corpse hung suspended in the center of the bedchamber, speared by many slender trees. A bit of torso visible in the thicket, some of the left leg, and what you might be able to see of portions of a middle-aged man wearing the natural garb of someone in their pajamas, essentially. And you're just almost horrified in this moment. It is a terrifying scene, and there is an enormous pool of blood that has spread across, soaking through the sheets of this bed and into the floor. And there's this kind of flicker in your stomach as it's threatening to give way. What are you doing?
First thing, I take a steadying breath. And I turn to look at the door to the room. And after a moment, I start checking for sight lines in the room. If someone were to come in, what are the possible entrances, exits? If someone were to come in, where would be a discreet place to be so that I wouldn't be seen? And after a quick, I'm going to do sort of a quick scan of that, not real thoroughly, but as comprehensively as I can quickly.
Yeah, you quickly see that this is a central chamber. It is meant to have multiple eyes on it, or at least on the doorway. And so it is an area of high visibility, but within the room, you have a bit of cover for this moment. But you gather, again, this is a place you've been in a few times, and you know the typical routes out to get to safety.
And then I'm going to cast detect thoughts for just presence within 30 feet so that I get a slight warning if someone approaches.
Yeah, nothing registers right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep that. Well, let's see what we can see. And I am going to examine the figure in the bed. It's like, where does it look like these trees originated from? Is the person alive? So you said that they were kind of suspended up, but with the blood pattern, it looks like they were in bed when the trees came up through them and the trees lifted them partially in the process. Do I correctly understand that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I'm going to take some time and try to do some careful observation of what I'm looking at here and trying to put that together with what I heard at the festival around the nobles, that, where I heard the chatter about grisly body investigation, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you begin to take a closer investigation on this. Kind of still cautiously keeping your distance, but trying to get a better examination. And these aren't really trees, but more like some kind of long, flexible grass. Like this hollow, weedy grass that you would almost kind of use to make like a pipe. And the thicket of shoots kind of appears to have emerged from between this entity's kind of shoulder and neck while they were laying down. You can kind of catch a hint of the vertebrae trapped within them and kind of suppress another pang of nausea as it comes through you. But what really catches horrifyingly your attention is the face. It seems like the shoots had grown multiple branches as they had emerged from the torso, and one had shot sideways through the skull, bending the head at an awful angle. And yet the branch had somehow enveloped the skull above the upper jawline, swallowing the face and the nose and the ears. All that was left is this lower jaw piece hanging open in this silent scream. And there above it in the wood, a half ring of teeth in the mouth, the roof of a mouth kind of submerged into the rippling bark. You kind of stare at the chin. There's this whisper of steely stubble, a faint scar on the edge from some accident or conflict. The left arm is furred with some light white hair, and the fingers are calloused and crackling from years of labor. And the leggings on the left leg are stained dark from blood, so much that it kind of pooled into the boot and filled over. But as you get this closer look, it is unmistakable that this is indeed the master of the house, Master Kenneth.
Boko, what did you do?
So, if Richard's body, and is he clearly dead? I assume
He is torn apart.
I mean, God, I
yeah.
hope so.
Yes, he is as dead as you can get.
If he weren't, this would be a even worse scene, but I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, it has been
torn
some.
apart is not as dead as you can get for certain characters.
This is why I clarify and ask. Yes.
It is as dead as you can get. It is not as permanently dead as you can get.
So mostly
Dude,
dead.
there's a big difference here between mostly dead and all dead.
Hey. You fuckers.
Anyway.
You've got to loot him now at this point. That's the only next step that's allowed.
Take the money out of his pajamas.
And actually, what Boku's saying there about, he'd spent time. Was I there when Boku briefed the party? I don't think I was.
I don't think
I
you were
know
either.
that Richard was with Boku for overnight. I don't think I know that.
No, because I think you left right before you came back.
And
Yeah.
you went to go with Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was dealing with that, so I don't know that. Okay. And I never met up with you after.
Sucks, don't it?
To be fair, I'm not a member of the Iron Horizon. I wouldn't necessarily expect to know everything that the party knows.
Yeah, but like,
Not quite the same as Roland. Anyway.
I can't imagine, going off on my own to look for other information and missing out.
Never would happen to Roland.
We all do it sometimes.
So I kind of want to look, between the bed and the body where it's lifted up a little bit, because what you've described about the originations of the reeds, I'm not quite picturing it. So did it originate from him and spread up and down, or did it originate in the bed and go through him? I'm not quite picturing this.
Give me an investigation check.
I knew you were going to ask for that. I'm rubbish at investigation, but it is what it is.
I gave you most of it for.
Oh, thank God.
Well,
Thank you, Darius.
Oh,
lean back
goodness.
in exasperation.
Yeah. It's fine.
I
I should have asked for the first one, but it's okay. As you see this emanation, you can clearly tell from the position of the viscera that this stuff kind of originated directly where the body was, and parts of it grew down into the bed, and parts of it grew up into and through the ceiling. And I'll say even with the natural 20, I'll say that you're able to put the position from where this entity would have been lying down. It was right around kind of the shoulder area, the upper part of the torso.
And I want to bend down and look under the bed. How far down does it go?
It goes into the floor. This room is on the first floor, so you're not sure like how deep it is or if there's a basement.
First floor as in ground or first floor as in European first floor?
It is potentially the ground. There could be a basement. You see the blades of this grass kind of breaking through the stone floor. It could go deeper. But yeah, it seemed like it started at the bed and kind of split out in all directions.
I want to kind of look more around I want to kind of expand, so I've started with the body and with the growth, followed the growths up and down, and I kind of want to look around the bed and start kind of expanding a bit.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Anything that could indicate context. I mean, this doesn't just spontaneously happen to a person. So
can you imagine?
So I kind of want to, look around. Are there any sort of careful sigils or anything around, or is there anything to indicate what actually caused this?
I will say, with a natural 20 investigation continuing on with this, looking around this space, you first check the door. Like, was there any signs of forced entry? You check the windows that are here. None of the windows have been broken. None of the locks have been adjusted. All the locks still seem, on the windows especially, still seem to have magical enchantments to ensure that if someone used magic to enter, that you would know. The door...
How did I get in here?
Well, the door was open for you.
Right.
But the door wasn't forced open. It had a key, and you look over the lock. The lock wasn't broken. The door wasn't broken through. Again, there's typically wards around the door when it's not open to ensure things can't like slip underneath the bottom when they're magical mist. You check everything. There was no forced entry. With a close eye, you look across and you see no signs of magic. You see that this space has been inspected and there are multiple markers that kind of highlight things of interest, but all of it seems natural. You see where the wheelchair was placed. You see where likely some people... Is the wheelchair
there?
Yeah, the wheelchair is there. You see likely where some servants had to help him through some sort of bath or shower. You also see where there is kind of a changing area where he would have gotten onto his pajamas. You see the clothes that were there. There's a few pieces like the gloves that are on the armoire, but all of the clothes have been removed and probably taken off to wash by the servants. And then he's just down in the bed. It seems like he kind of went through his nightly routine as normal. There's no marks of any fight. He was sleeping whenever this happened.
Or anything.
Yeah, no sigils, no markings, no messages. Now, if there was a message left of somebody claiming this, the police probably would have taken it. And so you're the second one in here. But from what you can see around the room, it's not much.
And with the detect thoughts going, this is an empty vessel. There's no trace or remnant in the body.
Yeah, there's no thoughts coming from the body.
Okay.
Anything else that you would like to do, Morian, before taking your escape route out of here?
I want to find using the detect thoughts is kind of a barometer. I want to find somewhere in the house where people are congregated, and I want to try to hide and listen in and see what the investigation or the household or what are the others more directly involved making of this?
Yeah, I'll say for now, as you kind of look around the house is completely deserted. There are no people here, no servants, no entities. Everything is empty. The only people who are here are the guards that are posted across the entire estate, usually on the exterior. There are likely some investigators that have come through occasionally, but they've probably come and long since gone. And so now the guards are just the only ones that are there, and they're not making much conversation. You might catch them occasionally on like things, but they probably, you would know, have limited knowledge of what's happening inside. This has been kept very tight due to the significance of who this is.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to... let me take that spell slot off. I am going to send to Andy I'm only going to send 8 words, but I'm going to leave sort of space and presence for the entire time for 25 words.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I'm at the villa. How can I help? That's 8.
I'm at the villa. How can I help? Okay. You kind of slowly send out this message and give a moments of pause throughout. And you kind of hear this or notice this pause, and often occurs when people are kind of thinking of how to respond, or trying to understand what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And after what feels from your perspective like forever in the circumstances, eventually Andy does respond. What villa are you in? Are you in ours? What's going on? What help do you need? But there's just confusion in her voice, and there is, especially due to the way that you left her the last time.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of information in there, and she is trying to... There wasn't a whole lot of information in your message, and you can see that she's trying to pull at what is going on to understand how to react.
She would know, if she knew what was going on, she would know what I meant. So, what is the official name of the house? Is it Kenneth Villa, or what's the actual name of the house?
Yeah, most of the things in the C ward, also a lot of the richer estates are all called villas. So this is the Kenneth Villa. Kenneth Estate is an equivalent name, but technically they're villas.
Okay, so I'm going to spend another spell. I'm going to cast again, depleting further, and again I'm going to use the full time to indicate I am present here, and I am tapping on habits I've learned in another setting, and I'm only going to say Kenneth Villa.
And this time you get back quickly, as apparently she's had time to think through after the last one. Just, I'm on my way. and we will come back to that. But for Clyde, as you've been galloping through the city, it was mid-afternoon whenever you left the bar with your new tag-along. And after navigating through the city down to the gates where the efforts had started, you saw these large viewing portals, and across them a number of different groups are in the midst of things that are projected onto these magical viewing screens, and the entities all gathered around the stands are watching, and you kind of catch sights of a few different groups, but also finally land on the one where you see the Iron Horizon working with the Clifftop Adventurers Guild and the Arts and Farces. And you catch pieces of when the Banshee is attacking Jasira and Thishalt, and they're facing it off and protecting the civilians. You catch portions of this before eventually some of the people actually notice you and realize who you are, and start to try and come up, and you can tell that they're kind of a facilitator for the event. Oh, you are Master Clyde, yes? Part of the Iron Horizon.
I'm late, I think, and he points at the screen with the Iron Horizon getting the shit kicked out of him currently.
Yes, quite so, quite so. Well, we will see if we can get you out to the premises. But if not, we have a facility where we're setting up where all the groups will be returning after the complete. So as long as there's nothing extreme that occurs, they should be able to meet you there, depending on the time. We will get you sorted. Come with us. And begins to escort you around. But before he does, just and what about me? And there's just, oh, heavens, what is that?
Well, according to a piece of paper I got this morning, this is Skit. He is my family and heir. You could say he's my familiar.
We are never going to get tired of that.
Oh my.
I just knew we hadn't heard it yet.
Effect.
Alright, Skit. So, remember, rule number 1, no attacking anyone unless I tell you to.
But this guy
And
looks
2,
stupid.
no insulting anyone unless I insult them first. You don't look stupid yet.
Well, that's stupid too.
Alright.
You know, I'm not sure if he really is the type of individual we should be letting in. You be quiet or I'll burn you alive.
Alright, Skit, let's do that trick you showed me where you go invisible and you just hang out on my shoulder. Let's do that one.
Just disappears. Oh, thank goodness. All right, right this way. Come.
Alright, quick question. Do I feel Skit on my shoulder?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
But as you are escorted over, they kind of, by the time you find people in charge, they seem to think that the event will almost be over and recommend you kind of going over to the encampment that is set up. And so you're guided, you're kind of handed off towards one of these individuals. It appears like they are on this like long extended raptor-like dinosaur. But they're kind of wearing this thin leather armor and a turban wrapped around their head that kind of covers their face. But they kind of give you a hand and help you up onto the back as the man that had been escorting you kind of gives you a wave. And as you're beginning to ride off, you hear screams. Oh, put him out, put him out! And just a chuckle from your shoulder as the presence is now sat in.
Alright, we're gonna have to add another rule to the list. No setting people on fire unless I tell you to.
He deserved it, you know it.
I don't know how I'm gonna explain you to the guy, to everybody else. Is there a screen in here still showing the Iron Horizon getting ruined?
You are the screens were back where the audience is. You were kind of escorted over to where this camp is being set up.
Okay, so it was harrowing, but it wasn't
at the
end there.
Yeah, it was not the end. At the time that you were seeing it, what really struck you is that Jasira seemed to be out of sorts and was looking quite terrified and like down on the ground in terror. But You're a little bit nervous, and by the time you get to the encampment itself has a small area for victors who have kind of come through, or those who have completed the challenge, to watch others who are still in the progress. And so you come up here and you catch just the very end portions. The Banshee has already been defeated by the time you get over there, and you hear a few people kind of chatting about it. And you see kind of the Ezra giving a compliment to Jasira. It appears like she made a recovery back into the thick of things, but you know that they were completed and should be on their way back here shortly.
All right, Clyde's gonna let out a heavy sigh of relief. And he's gonna go and just wait by the doors for when his party comes in, and just he's really thinking about his choices of going and beating up children
and acquiring children
now that he has a child.
And there's also just this pressure. It's not hurtful, but it's this feeling of something new, this new itch from where that gem is now in, just kind of floating in that ethereal arm.
Just
exactly. But as you are just kind of hanging out here, a familiar bob-haired individual kind of comes by as you see one of the emissaries that you had talked with before, this Dotson that you had met with, or I think it may have been Rennie that had met with, but could kind of come by and just, oh, you're one of the Iron Horizon, yes?
I am, though by the screen you couldn't tell. Apparently I slept in.
Oh, not to worry. From what I've seen, your group handled themselves quite well indeed. The Banshee was quite intimidating, but they did well. Many of the other challenges have been...
up with that. That seems kind of crazy for just a challenge, right?
Oh, the Lord's Festival is known for its weed out challenges, shall we say. But that one was particularly difficult, though made for some quite entertaining viewing. I know that many of the groups in that, or especially the Clifftop Adventurers Guild and your own Iron Horizon, are early bets to earn favor from lords. We've even got a few messages that have started to come through. Perhaps you'd like to pass this along to the rest of your compatriots. And he kind of pulls out from his robe this small metallic box, and it has on the top of it what almost looks like a upside down triangle.
Okay, does Clyde recognize the symbol? Just
give me a history check.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you the symbol doesn't ring any bells. This doesn't seem to be anything that has significance on a country or international scale.
That's fine. Clyde's read other people's mail before. Yeah, I'll give it to the rest of the party. We'll see what this is about. Thank you.
Of course.
That's good.
And it takes about an hour or so as early evening begins to set in on this camp. But eventually the rest of the Iron Horizon does make its way to camp. And along with the Clifftop Adventurers Guild and the Arts and Farces, as well as the 6 copperheads that you all had rescued, you all are kind of brought through and are met kind of at the gates by a number of these large 4-legged, 3-horned dinosaurs, and upon them more copperheads with long spears that are riding them that kind of come in and begin to escort you to your place in the camp and establishment, where Clyde meets you as you all see your companion finally returned.
So it looked like you all had a time. Everyone's fine now, it seems, I hope. I'm sorry I slept in. I really dropped the ball this time.
We're just glad you're back, bud. That we've had a hell of a day.
Not gonna lie, Clyde could have really used you out there.
Yeah,
not great.
Well, the night It was worth it.
I get it, man, but
You're alive.
seriously.
This is why I don't mess with those things.
That's fine. More for me. But
Yeah, you're lost.
on talking along that train, Skit, why don't you go ahead and show yourself? I kinda have a kid.
What?
I have
Just
a name.
Like I said, Skit, companions, it.
You all look around and you don't see anything.
Clyde whispers to his shoulder.
I detect
"Skit, you're
life?"
You're supposed to show yourself now.
It?
Yeah, that's a good point. For Roland and maybe for Boko, what other means of seeing do you guys have active at the moment?
I've always
If
got
any.
the life sight thing.
Yeah, then Roland, you see a small presence on Clyde's shoulder.
The opposite one
It's-
he's looking at, trying
it's-
to talk.
It's tiny. Yeah. Yes. It's tiny in comparison even to Clyde. It's maybe a foot tall.
I'm just
Cute.
going to walk past Clyde. I'm going to flick him on the ear on the open shoulder, and then tussle the hair of the creature, the invisible creature, on his other shoulder.
As you try to tussle hair, there are these sharp points that stick into your hand, and it almost draws blood. It's like poking yourself on a fork.
Still worth it. Keep walking.
Yeah, I deserve that.
I need to get to a library.
You got a rope?
They would have a pop-up
love how
library out here,
nobody-
would they?
I love how nobody is surprised that Clyde has a kid. We're all just like,
Of course not.
Yeah,
that
only one?
right.
I think we're all shocked that he only has one.
It doesn't surprise me.
that he-
I had a really rough night. I slept in. I have a son now.
Look, it doesn't surprise me that you have a kid.
Totally
I think
related.
just perhaps I would have never seen you as a father? If that makes any sense.
Clyde's gonna lean in close. Me too.
Clyde went out for milk or moonshine, never came back.
And came back with milk.
Yes, now.
But from now on, I'll only get blackout drunk with the party, so you can drag me into the next thing.
Okay.
Based on everything going on, it may have to be a sober next few days, at least for most of us. I don't know if that's going to be something within your repertoire with
nose
current
goes,
events.
not me. Where's the closest alcohol?
Clyde
Please
starts to
and
have an
thank you.
existential crisis that he's going to have to be sober with a child.
All right, well, if you're not going to be sober, one of us has to be.
Actually,
And
Boko has an idea for Clyde and for Skit.
And you guys notice that you are not the first ones to have returned. The Golden Valor, the individuals who are the oldest, this older group of knights have already passed through, as have the other members of their alliance, which included the Wandering Talons, a group of newer adventurers. There's also the group that was comprised of the Judge's Hammer, that had also completed theirs. And so you guys, with their companions as well. So you guys are kind of the third group to make it to this encampment. Still pretty
Wow.
early in the evening.
I bet they had to go clear out a basement from some rats.
Your
The
rats.
nursing home. Boko will sidle up to Clyde and in a very low voice, he'll say, "There has been a very good point that has been brought up. The missions that were selected for the Lord's Festival. It is
Yeah,
very
it seemed kind of
possible-
crazy.
Yes, it is very possible that they may be selected specifically to further the interests of the stakeholders, specifically of Galreth. Do you think you and your newfound... Boko looks at one shoulder and then to the other.
I'm here. And there's like a voice down at your feet, Boko.
Do you think you could find information on the missions that were done by the other parties?
And Clyde, you already
Clyde
have a
should've
lot.
yeah.
You've seen a
saw
lot
a lot
of
of that.
this. You know that the group that the Judge's Hammer were a part of, they actually fought what looked to be like some sort of corrupted dragon. A pretty large scale, roughly an adult dragon, but the corruption had spread to its wings and it was no longer able to fly. And you had also seen for the Golden Valor, they were given a considerable task. Some sort of like creature that you didn't even recognize, but it had lots of tentacles, lots of eyes. It was very odd, and there were all sorts of like blobs. Yeah,
events.
Some disturbed creature that they were able to incapacitate quickly. But across a number, and even some of you now kind of in this place on the viewing platforms can see many of these encounters are fairly dangerous creatures. But Clyde, you've started to get the scoop on what's going on. Most of these encounters are from some kind of magic recreated from the histories of the land around, and are often challenges that are either purposefully replicated or have been scouted out the areas. And so the few ones that are real are they've got close safeguards around, but many of them are just replications via intense magics on things or creatures that were actually here upon one time. So what you fought may or may not have
now a
existed.
beholder.
As crazy as it is, you all might not have fought the worst fights. Some of those were real humdingers.
In particular, you know, the dragon one is one that they know is one that was not, it was simulated with magics, as dragons haven't been seen in some time.
Oh, must be nice. Simulation battle.
Is there any history that any of our party knows on the Banshee?
Currently, Clyde hasn't been able to get that much information yet. He's only been here for about an hour, so you guys have that. Yeah.
Right.
And
Hearing the you guys may not have had the worst fight, Roland like kind of stops, turns around, and like comes back up next to him and goes, "How many of the others fought a cursed creature and watched a centuries-old corpse disintegrate in front of their eyes after it was dispatched?"
2?
God damn it! Fair enough. I would like all the information that you can get on the other example.
And Clyde, you relay that there's only been a couple of deaths throughout the day. A relatively stable number. Only 2 individuals have passed so far.
Boko's gonna take a fucking victory lap right now because he is not on that list.
Festival, by the way.
Festival.
Man, I'm so glad Clyde wasn't awake to make bets, because he would have lost money on the Isbo who were gonna die.
Yeah, I wanna peek behind the DM screen and just see the notes because it just says Hunger Games but D&D ?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just wait, I'll show you the notes on this one eventually, and it's even funnier than that.
Oh fuck.
It's just a picture of Boko with a knife in his chest and just him with a sad face.
A crudely drawn stick figure of Boko.
It has like a number 5 drawn up.
There's a 4th one hastily scrawled in.
It has a number 5 drawn on the top right. Like, all right, well, you know.
Rip.
Oh my goodness. But yes, you all are in the encampment. There's not a whole lot of information here, as the visiting lord is not necessarily one of the organizers, and this is a pretty. It's mostly a bunch of tents, and they're nice, but it's not It's not like the city.
Damn. Is anybody like... Are we mostly seeing people celebrate? Is there anybody that looks like they're mourning?
From all the groups right now, give me an insight check.
Insight check. Wow.
Yeah, for the most part, what you see from the groups that are here, and we'll say it's maybe been 30, 45 minutes, so another group has set has come in. The Golden Valor is kind of sitting around. Most of the Judge's Hammer have long since gone and are probably getting a drink, as Jasira is somewhere. But most of the vibes from many of the groups who have passed is like, this is expected, we're meant to be here. There's a couple of the newer groups, like the Wandering Talons, and particularly the Arts and Farces, that are celebrating and are kind of like exasperated, like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Like, he almost died. Like, what the hell happened? There's a lot of that from the younger, more experienced groups that were kind of not necessarily carried, but definitely put in a depth outside of their normal experience by being partnered up with some of these more experienced groups that have gone through.
I'm going to wander the camp and see if I can overhear anyone debriefing what they went through, and just gather as much data as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. There is tons of talk, both from the observers, though again, you catch that kind of that mixed language of halfling and not goblin, gnome, from many of those from the Talenta Plains. And there's also a number of actual halflings and gnomes here.
Two languages I don't speak.
Yeah, but
No, Clyde will go to you if you want. If you allow Clyde to, Clyde will touch you.
Well, and before that being said, that is many of the
that's
folks.
how you get kids.
That is many of the individuals from the Talenta Plains. There are still a number of individuals from the adventurers who have returned that are talking about their exploits, that are bragging and kind of comparing of like, oh, you think your challenge was hard? Well, look at what ours did. Like, you should have seen what we went through. Sir Osgar, he completely decapitated that thing, and I don't even know how many heads it had. Like, there's all sorts of that comparison going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're able to get lots of details on the different challenges, and it certainly seems like, especially for those groups who have returned back by now, all of them were challenging. None of them were easy, for sure.
Are there any groups that are... He'd especially be interested in catching anything that is said by the groups that aren't overtly boasting, that are doing like a more enclosed huddle of a debrief.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and throw guidance on for that, as he's doing this intentionally. Son of a nutcracker. That is terrible. 19.
Okay. And can you give me a stealth check as well?
Yep. Let's hope it goes better. Much.
Yeah. So you, kind of blending through faces and through shadows, you find your way over to where there is a large celebration hall. It's still relatively quiet. There's, again, a few groups who are making the echoing halls filled up with their excitement. But kind of off in one shady corner, you catch the member of the Judge's Hammer. And you've heard enough around to know these 5 individuals. They're led by Calamond the Judge, a gruff-looking, red-bearded dwarf whose beard is starting to turn white with age, but not quite there yet. But there's a number of hardened individuals, and actually, let me see if I think I might have pictures for it. Yeah, here we go. This is the Judge's Hammer.
Nice.
And so you can see.
Hey, there's one who looks like me.
Yeah, there is indeed a little bit. You see gathered around, they're all kind of whispering back to each other. Most of them are, well, I guess a couple of them are human. You see This the one that you know to be Adelar has an eye patch, not unlike your own. Kind of this light, dirty blonde hair that's pulled back into a ponytail, and this 5 o'clock shadow that refuses to go away. Kind of a long beaked nose. There's another woman across from, scars across her face, her hair cut short, leathers underneath, kind of a very lightweight cloak. A small but kind of beautiful gnomish woman with these bright red curls and these very piercing purple eyes. And then the 5th individual is kind of this hooded figure with a scarred jaw all the way up the side. They look human, but their skin is almost ashen gray. And they kind of keep the hood over top of them, and they're all kind of whispering back and forth, talking about the experiences and kind of what happened and what to expect.
Purple eyes. I'm gonna have a fucking anxiety attack.
Yeah, the scarred one is basically if you took Jasira and I and went.
Yep, a little bit. But you catch.
We already have one party child. We don't need another.
You catch just a bit of these of the conversation that comes through with these individuals, and Kalaman seems to be kind of leading the conversation here, focused around kind of giving a kind of feedback. You can see that he is not happy. In fact, he looks a little grumpy, and you quickly catch on that he's frustrated that they weren't the first ones back in. And you hear him just,
Nazari, next time we'll have to be a bit faster on the draw there. Bernice, ensure that those fingers are ready to go. The puzzles that are coming up won't be simple. We need to all be on our game if we're going to ensure we make the top this year. The Valor aren't going to just wait idly by. But this is a good sign.
And you see that his thick kind of fingers tap along a thin wooden book.
Don't, Roland. Don't.
Yo, boy.
I can hear you salivating.
I'm watching it.
I can hear you salivating. I'm on camera going. Not right now. I'm gonna hang around and keep eyes on that book.
Yeah.
See if I have an opportunity.
In the meantime, what are the rest of you doing to enjoy the festivities? There is drink, merriment, music, as well as dinosaurs and individuals from a far off
Stupid
land.
dinosaurs.
Anyone who knows the spell polymorph, go study.
Would it be intensely inappropriate to start drinking with Clyde's kid? Clyde, you wanna get your kid drunk?
We've been there, done that this morning already. He's more than welcome, but
You beat
be
me to
careful.
Let's do it.
He keeps drinking, but I ain't seen it affect him none.
Huh.
That's a neat trick to have.
It's spicy.
I wonder if it's due to
So,
infernal constitution.
You're like half Clyde, that's right.
Yeah.
Tell me about the lady.
Oh,
Who's your mother?
Mama's she had to let me spread my wings. You know, it was about time to leave the nest. Tried to keep me locked up, and I'm excited to be out with Daddy.
What did she see in our short little rotund friend?
Who the fuck knows?
I'm clearly just being a smartass at this point. In fact, that Clyde is in fact one of my best friends here, and I cannot help the chance to find something that I can use to tease him later.
Clyde has taken this opportunity, as any dad would, to sneak off while someone else is dealing with his child. And
I'm gonna
he is
drink with my friend's kid then.
Please do.
Yeah, we're gonna go party.
Gosh. I don't like
I
that.
don't
Please
have
do.
I don't have to be the responsible uncle here, so like, fuck it, we ball.
Hopefully he remembers rules 1 through 5. That's all the rules we've given him so far. That's all I've had time for. But Clyde is also going to try and gather any data he can. Maybe if anyone who's like repeat contestants, if they have any more information, if they're talking about what they might be seeing in upcoming events.
Give me an investigation check or a persuasion check here. Most of the experienced groups are not the most conversational, at least for right now. As it gets further into the night, more and more arrive. That will kind of change. But from the quote-unquote advanced, or maybe those who did the best, or at least the quickest, they're pretty tight-lipped usually.
So Clyde leaves the bar, fluffs up his purple vest, ruffles out his sexy pants, and tries to persuade. All right.
Oh, yes.
26.
So you see
Amazing.
one of these individuals, again, this bright steel armor, but marked from many worn battles, a large golden cape across their back. The Knights of the Golden Valor.
Come on. That was amazing what I saw on the screen. You must be easily shoo-ins for the next events, right?
Please don't waste our
It's
time.
a bunch of old guys. God damn it.
Yeah, and they kind of just push by you a little bit, and they don't seem interested in talking, even with your wonderful wiles. However, there's a twitch from an individual over to the side, and you see it's got to be a hobgoblin. The orange hair or the orange skin of this individual, but they've got these long ears and earrings of all different sorts along them. A large jacket over top, their own kind of purple vest and necklaces across. And they look at you. Oh, after some information about the events, yeah? Well, let Jabari help you out. Jabari knows many things.
Well, what sort of things might Jabari know? Someone who's so well accessorized. Gotta have some good info around these parts, right?
Information as well as intoxication, whatever your fancy may be.
Clyde stutters for a sec. I think I'll take information. I woke up with a child this morning.
Shame, but it does happen after
Phrasing.
all.
What? Yeah, phrasing. God damn it.
So, information. What kind of information?
Well, I was hoping to know a little bit more about what to expect in the next couple of events. If I was wanting to make a couple bets, maybe.
You have come to the right individual.
God.
Jabari is happy to provide. Have you been involved in the Lord's Festival before?
First time, and I gotta say, pretty intimidating. God damn, look at those earrings.
From what Jabari hears, you were a bit late to the festivities.
Like I said, child woke up with. It was a problem.
Yes. So I've heard. Well, the events proceed on a fairly regular fashion. The first is always a basic search and rescue, but the other's a bit more intriguing, yes. I hear day 2, as is often the case at the gates, they're setting up some exquisite puzzles, some tricky riddles, things to press on the mind rather than the body this time. And then after that, once you reach the streets of the city, well, we've provided our own enhancement onto the typical races that occur. As you
press further into the city, everyone tries to reach the arena for the 4th day, and the encounters Colosseum-esque, battle steel on steel, beast against adventure. That's when the deaths start to tumble through. But it has been interesting so far, hasn't it? Day 5 is when things really take an interesting turn, for it's always a unique, particular challenge. One picked out by the Open Lord particularly. Are you curious to know what more I have for you? And he kind of rubs his fingers together.
Yeah. What's the usual casualty rate of this thing?
You pay what you get. Get what you pay for. That's what they say, right?
I see. Well, if it's gonna be like that, I guess I better get some better information. What sort of things might what in your expertise do you think we might expect during this race? And Clyde's going to palm him 5 gold.
Tosses it up and slips it into the jacket before the hands are back out, and he's kind of thinking, or appearing to think. I can tell you that typically there are many mechanical machines to choose from. The different highlights of artifices of the city. But this year there's a twist. We've brought some of our own participants from the plains. And he kind of motions over to a paddock where a number of dinosaurs are penned in.
Okay. I don't like that, but I understand.
Do you favor machines or real life underneath your thighs?
Again, now I have a kid, so you know the answer to that.
Machines it is, of course.
And, well, that's gonna help some of my companions at least. I think I'm gonna have to go learn how to speak Raptor, though, real quick. But it was a pleasure making your acquaintance, Kabari.
Make sure you keep your fingers close. And he kind of laughs as you wander away from him. And you see as another person comes up, he kind of opens up his coat, just, want to buy some death sticks?
Fuck it, I'm a dad, yeah. I'm supposed to go out and get some death sticks. How much for a death stick?
Oh, for you, 2 gold.
Sure, it's been that sort of day.
And he pops one of these vials out and hands it over to you, and it's this light purple colored fluid.
Roland, that is my deepest hope that I'm going over to the Raptors and I'm going to quack and I'm going to hope.
Which one?
I'm hoping one of them understands my accent. You have seen into the future of what is going to happen. So yeah, Clyde's going to take some of this death stick, and before he, I guess, inhales all of this, he's going to go see if he can talk to a reptile by quacking at it.
Okay.
Seductively?
So pocketing the death stick for now, and heading over to the dinosaur paddock. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Thishalt, as you've hit the encampment, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'd probably look around, see the dinosaurs, roll my eyes a little bit. And try to look for somewhere to, more than likely, one, clean out a lot of the pieces that I just injected my blood through, make sure that everything flows properly still, as it's the first actual test that we've run on it.
Yeah, it's been a bit lethargic for you.
Which
definitely a strange experience to have your essence pulled out so viscerally, but it did work.
Yeah, just kind of look at it and be like, I'm a little surprised it worked as well as it did. I mean, even though I already kind of designed it to work like that, but... Huh. I'm honestly just a bit surprised myself the way I went for it. So, is Boko around, or did he already wander off? That may be more of a question to Boko.
Yeah.
Boko definitely would have wandered off to find a quiet place.
That's what I thought. All right.
On the way back, he would have been very distant. He is considering this a failure.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we all have a lot to think about. So, yeah, mostly just looking over all the machinery, seeing all the folks kind of revel in their newfound victories, and just look at that. Smile. Think about those days behind.
Thishalt, as you're wandering around, you see one of the administrators come through with a clipboard and kind of, one of the Iron Horizon. Here is your grade, and he kind of hands you a small piece of parchment. Be great. Well done today. You've already got quite a number of suitors.
Excuse me?
Yes, from what I've heard, there's lots of whispers around. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of the lords started to reach out. Most of the groups that come through in the top 5 or so are usually, at least in the top 5 to return, are usually front runners. Have you gotten any missive? Anything strange?
I suppose not within this context, no. I'm sorry, I was thrown off by the terminology.
Well, keep an eye out. Any
First time.
Any strange packages?
Like.
Any strange packages or deliveries could be the boon of some of the masked lords. I bid you the best of luck, but I certainly liked what I saw, as he kind of wanders off to find others.
Unless hundreds of them are floating down from parachutes at the same time, in which case they're bombs.
Just think to myself, well, I'm glad to hear that. Wait, a bee? What? We nearly died! How in the world am I supposed to get an A on this?
And with that, Boko, since you did mention that you're kind of wandering off, what are you up to?
Boko is sort of processing what happened today, and he does his best processing while he has his hands busy. And so Boko is going to find the nearest place that he can use as a makeshift workbench to spread out and start tinkering.
Okay. You actually find a small area in this space where there does appear to be some sort of smithing happening. It's kind of like a blacksmith and a tannery set up, and you see a kind of a Orvar or half-breed woman kind of working away at some of the materials here. She appears to be half orc and maybe half elf. She's got certainly the coloration of a orc, but these long ears. And she's kind of wearing this tight-fitting leather corset around her, but she's got these long leather gloves and is working with a few of the tools. And just kind of looking over this, you immediately see that she's probably building barding for some of these creatures. Are you setting up next to them, or are you looking for something a little bit more private?
Boko would probably set up next to them, but he wouldn't start a conversation.
Yeah.
It would be more like they're doing their own thing, but together, kind of.
You kind of just start to set things up here. And this individual, you kind of are working for a little while before they kind of look over and up. You know, it's normally nice to come with a name, or at least ask if the space is open. It is, but just nice, you know?
Boko kind of looks around. It did appear to be open, and I don't have much experience working with people. If that makes any sense.
Well, you're in good company.
Boko has his arm out and this brand on it and this large crystal that he pulled out of the chest of a Titan out. Has she reacted to this at all, or is this just like another day for her?
Give me an insight check.
That tracks what Boko said.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, it seems like another day for her.
You know, it really helps if you're trying to, get insight on how someone is feeling to look at their face.
I am clearly looking up and down her tool belt because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck she's doing. Yeah, Boko will just kind of let the silence hang for a moment, and he hasn't looked away, but he just says, I am Boko.
Zaina, nice to meet you. And she kind of pulls off a glove and holds out a hand for a handshake.
Boko will hold his hand out. Does she react to him being basically a warforged?
Not that you can tell.
Yeah, Boko will shake her hand.
Yeah, and you see there's quite a bit of strength there. She's kind of this thinner frame, but clearly has the calluses and the muscles from long work here. After kind of shaking, it kind of moves back to what she's doing, and you see her working on some sort of massive saddle. And it's more than just the leathers. There's apparently some sort of mechanical connections onto this that she is working through.
You are trying to seduce me, aren't you? Boko is currently in the planning phase of this project, and so he's like taking a little bit of extra time kind of leaning over her shoulder. And when it starts to kind of get awkward, Boko will say, "It is my jewel crafter is currently busy, and there's not much work to be done with what I am making. Do you need extra hands?"
Oh, well, I certainly wouldn't be mad at it.
Detach his arm from his back, hands it to her.
Do you need...
I have 4, so whatever you need.
Do you know how to use those tools? And she kind of points down at the ones that you're using on the table.
I was so hoping it was going to be the ones in his belt.
Yeah. Boko will sort of lift his little bundle of tools and set them down. His tinkering set. These are the ones that I am the most comfortable with. However, the services that I would provide, I also am fairly skilled in working with leather.
And she seems to have some natural
approach. Okay.
She seems to have some natural talents as an artificer herself, and she begins to show you how to adapt your tool set using that feature. I think it's the right tool for the job. To adapt these tools to what you need to be able to work on these particular saddles. And you guys begin to kind of work through something as she kind of gives you a job to do, puts your hands to work for here. But we'll transition now over to Rhea. Rhea, as you've hit the encampment again, everybody has kind of started to split out. Are you going off on your own to interact with folks, or are you tagging along with someone else?
I'm tempted to tag along with Rennie. Has Rhea seen an imp before?
Absolutely not. Unless you
I
are.
wouldn't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I gotta tag along and find out what the other small creature is.
You tag along. You tag along with Rennie to the bar where he is engaged in heavy drinking with Skit. Are you participating as well, or just observing?
Rhea will participate to a level of social drinking while mostly just staring in open curiosity and trying to figure out what she thinks about this new life form.
Yeah,
and Clyde's child.
And while this creature starts with just like lapping this up with a like forked snake tongue, which is strangely wider than you think it should be to fit in that mouth, but it's just pulling the alcohol out at just a massive rate. And as a group starts to form around the three of you, and like now chants are starting to go, he's getting more and more into it and begins to like tip it up over into his mouth. Eventually, it is like that type of vibe. And so this group is starting to form there. And then last but not least, we'll go over for Jasira. What are you doing within the encampment this evening?
Well, before kind of wandering off, she just kind of puts a hand on Boko's shoulder and just says, sorry we couldn't save her. And then she just kind of wanders off on her own pretty well immediately.
Jasira's gonna make Boko cry.
I mean, she feels partially at fault, but she's also like, I had to do something. So, complicated. So she's gonna get a drink. So she will basically wander around until she finds alcohol for free.
Good.
Ideally.
And as
she got like 5 gold.
Yeah,
is everyone gonna drink with my child?
No, she wants lonely drinking, the saddest of drinking.
This place is made for celebrations, and so the drinks do not cost, though some of the additional libations may.
I was
Bye.
secretly
Let's go.
drinking Skit's tab. I was
just like, oh no. Yeah, no, this is a celebratory affair. But Jasira, as you're kind of moving through the encampment, there is a familiar voice that catches your ear. Just, I'm glad to see that you made it. And you look over to see the well put together form of Drago kind of leaning over against the bar. You look
Definitely
This is not the time for that.
You look a bit surprised, but I told you that I'd be here to keep an eye on things. Are you doing all right?
It was a rough fight.
So I saw. I thought you might be able to use a drink.
And kind of hands you what looks to be like a glass, but it's not like a wine glass, but like a small rocks glass with some sort of colored cocktail within.
Andy's a mind reader. What's this?
Hopefully this is to your liking. It's one of my favorites.
She'll nod and take the drink from him, and pretty well immediately takes a sip.
And it burns at first, but it kind of has that sweet aftertaste. And he kind of smiles.
Ironically, it was suggested to me, the flame and all. This one's called the fire breather.
And you do kind of,
Very good.
as it kind of washes through and that sweet scent kind of comes up through your mouth, there's just a bit of that alcohol sensation that actually comes out through your nose, and there's just this ever so slight bit of mist or smoke or something that comes out through your nostrils, but it's pleasant and kind of almost like cleansing in a way.
Yeah, I think that would take her kind of off guard a little further, and so she might just let out like a really awkward like snort chuckle, like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
It takes a bit of getting used to, I admit, but I enjoy the sweetness. I'm not,
Oh, it's delicious.
I like a little bit of bite, but nothing too strong.
Kinky. Sorry, it slipped out.
That was just for you, David. I baited the hook and was like, oh, yep, there it is.
You see, you gotta wait till he drops paper. That's when you get him.
Yes, it's quite good. So did you watch how everybody was doing?
Of course. Though I must admit, most of my focus was on your group, as
Well, you've gotten me a bit concerned with all the tales that you've told. And Jasir, you can see, even though you're having a casual conversation, his eyes are scanning and watching the entrances. He's positioned in a way where he can see the whole room around him. He's got his back to kind of a pillar, and kind of you're off to the side where it's in a more protected area. Like, this is tactically chosen.
She'll kind of drop her voice a little bit and say, are all of these competitions this lethal?
The Lord's Festival is known as a particular proving ground, if you will. A bit barbaric by types, if I'm being honest, but the people here love it, and the adventurers yearn for any opportunity. This city is known for its historic adventurers, and there are so many of them that come through here that the city can't, well, it's hard to make a name for yourself sometimes. And this challenge, as difficult and dangerous as it is, people still line up because they want to be that next name that is known across the 5 kingdoms. And I have to admit, I can understand the sentiment.
Sometimes it's not the worst to not be well known. Be able to blend in.
Well, tonight, you can look around you. Adventurers, people of all heritages and ancestries. Tonight you can blend in.
I'll drink to that.
And as you...
she'll
Yeah.
throw it back.
He raises a glass with you and gives you a clink as you toss yours back, and all of you in your own corners begin to enjoy the at least portions of some festivities after the first successful evening. With Morian, you wait cautiously in the Kenneth Villa. And just as the sun is starting to set, somehow she always sneaks up on you. But there's a knock by the door, and you look out to the doorway and you see Andy kind of sitting on the outside.
Outside of the villa or outside of the room?
Outside of the room.
Okay.
But she's gotten your attention. And as you head towards where she stands, that's where we'll go ahead and wrap things up for this evening, and where we'll pick up next time for potentially day 2 of the Lord's Festival. We look forward to seeing you then.
I'm gonna practice my quacking.